to the fleet. Just want to bring to your attention, commissioners, on the fleet, Will's numbers are based just strictly on, how do you say it, just strictly on the service being linear. But our service isn't linear because we have to work driver breaks and other contractual things in with our work. The peak fleet actually goes up about 3 buses in phase 1, and I haven't worked out phase 2 yet, but I anticipate, because phase 2 has more service hours in it overall, probably an additional 4 or 5 buses in phase 2 over phase 1. That's once we get it into our work plan. So what you see, current peak vehicles under 35-foot bus at 28, we're probably going to be at either 30 or 31 in phase 1. Okay. Is what it's looking like at this point, now that we've got the bids constructed. So there will be some fleet expansion. Of course, when you add this many service hours, it's kind of logical you're going to have some fleet expansion.
Absolutely.
So there is some, and we'll have to, as we move this presentation ahead and use it again, that we'll have to update those figures. Besides, share that with you.
Tom, I have a question for you then. You showed the increase in fleet. What about headcount, personnel?
Yep, there will be. We're anticipating under phase 1, and we'll talk more with you about some other restructuring within the operation on April 19th, but we anticipate probably 5 or 6 additional full-time or full-time equivalent drivers to roll out phase 1.
Okay, and if you did add St. Joseph eventually, I would assume their residents are going to get levied like ours are also if they're a full member?
That's the plan. If you add a new member, similar to what we did when Sartell came out in 2002, the city passes a resolution to become part of the commission. Their tax capacity evaluation becomes part of our evaluation to calculate what we need for operations, and they're in. Okay. And the board has to accept them, of course. It's essentially they apply to become part of the commission, and the commission accepts them as a member. It's a fairly simple process. Hazel had a question here. She was asking about holidays. And you were asking about holiday service?
Yeah, holiday service could be the same as Sunday service.
Holiday service, same as Sunday. We really haven't addressed holidays, say operating on 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, some of those other holidays. The only holiday we operate today is Easter Sunday.
And you had a lot of ridership.
Yeah, I don't know what Easter Sunday looked like this year. We'll have to take a
can
look
check
at
the
that.
assumptions that we used for cost estimates, but I think we used $255 for weekdays. And then we might have used 52 Saturdays and
As far as number of
55
days.
Sundays. Yeah.
Something we weren't really in this short range part of this plan. We weren't proposing to you to start holiday service. Now, if that's something that again, if that's something the commission has some interest in, we could take a look at that. But holidays enter into a whole different realm of discussion because of our contractual obligations with our union. You're probably going to be paying a minimum time and a half, some double time or more. The cost per hour and the benefit per passenger, again, we have to measure that and say, what's our benefit. But on the other hand, there are users out there, transit-dependent users, that have no other option. That if we don't operate if there's no public transportation on those holidays, they have to use more expensive private transportation, or they don't go anywhere. And so that's something that, again, as us looking at what the needs of the community are, it might be something we explore. And on a cost and then a revenue to cover that expense, we'll have to look at that and see, is there something. So I guess you're gonna have to kind of, maybe give us some guidance to what your thoughts are, and if it's something you want us to explore, we certainly could. However, we didn't include the implementation of it in this plan at this point.
Maybe baked in a little bit, like I said, if it's 55 Sundays, or maybe there might be an assumption that there are more Sundays and Saturdays, but I'll double check.
But we didn't include holidays, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
Tom, and maybe I'll go back. I'm looking at the financials again. Maybe it's a premature question, but if you throw the buses and the personnel in there, do you have a ballpark number yet? Or is that a premature
What holidays
question
would
for you?
be?
No.
Phase
Just
one.
phase 1, phase 2,
Well, that's
phase
the next
3.
piece that
Yep,
we're gonna
that's
get
next.
here.
That's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Just so excited to see the dollar amount.
You won't.
Couldn't help myself.
You can pick your eyes up off the
It's-
floor.
Yeah,
Right, it's, I mean, it's, you know.
He's saving it for last for a reason.
Transit is a public service. We all know this. That requires subsidy, and MnDOT has, you know, indicated that they're willing to step up to the
We have
plate as
MnDOT
well.
here too as well.
Right.
And then I'll take the time to make the point that highways that we drive on with our private vehicles are also public transit.
Absolutely. Well, yes,
They are.
publicly funded.
Yes.
Yes,
Maybe
definitely.
we could touch a little bit on, and I know Daryl's here somewhere.
Yeah,
Hi, Daryl. Daryl Washington, our project manager from MnDOT Office Transit's here. And Daryl, feel free to chime in on this if you wish. But one of the things, the outcomes of MnDOT's transit planning for the state is there's an expectation for some system growth. And they've got some financial resources set aside for systems, particularly us urban systems that consume a vast majority of their resources in operating dollars to expand our services. The legislature has been fairly kind to us over the last couple of sessions, so there's money available. There's expectations from the state to the tune, I think, statewide of around 40,000 service hours just this next year for us urban systems. Am I saying that correctly? Or statewide?
Pretty close. We anticipate urban systems to basically grow 50% of the overall net need that we need to have for the state. And I think what you guys are doing now is a step in that direction. And again, for us, it's further and faster. We're willing to support it.
So bottom line is that the state is making a commitment to us to implement a fairly aggressive plan. And what you saw here is fairly aggressive, but much more aggressive than we did in 2010 with moving forward. And for them to step up to, you know, their contractual obligation, which on the fixed route side, it's 80%, covering 80% of the cost. And on the dial ride side, for dial ride growth, 85% of the cost. So we went into our financial projections, what we need with local revenue, based on the state's full participation in all the new service hours. So we're talking about 15,000 service hours in phase one, a little over 20,000 service hours in phase two, and another 5,000 to 8,000 in phase three. And beyond that, you know, there might certainly be some additional opportunities for expanding our service day, bringing holidays online, you know, some of those other pieces. And who knows? And things happen quickly in our area. We might have a new service area we have to consider somewhere downstream too. So that's what we went into, assuming MnDOT participating fully in all the new service. Our current service hours on fixed routes about 92 or 93,000 annual service hours. So we're looking at in phase one about a 15% increase in service hours, about a 20 to 25% increase in when phase two comes online, and again another you know, 5 to 8 to 10%.
Phase two has the
So these are
expansions.
pretty substantial increases in service hours now. So again, I don't know, Paul, if you've got the copies of those projections, if you want to. Yeah.
I'll sit here to get out of the way.
If you don't mind.
No.
Yeah.